Charles stands at the center of a storm he never truly anticipated. A man who waited decades for the crown now finds himself carrying it under circumstances far removed from triumph. Illness shadows his days, responsibility consumes his hours, and the quiet dignity he projects masks a private exhaustion few are allowed to witness. The monarchy, once a symbol of enduring stability, now feels fragile, strained not only by public scrutiny, but by tensions unfolding behind palace walls. There are moments, rare but telling, when the strength falters, not in public speeches or ceremonial appearances, but in the quiet aftermath, when the applause fades and the doors close. It is there that the weight becomes undeniable. He is no longer just a king. He is a father navigating division, a husband protecting love, and a man confronting his own limits. And as these roles begin to collide, the question is no longer whether change will come, but how deeply it will reshape everything he has worked to preserve. What once appeared as unity has quietly unraveled. William, steady and observant, has begun to see patterns he cannot ignore. His concern is not political. It is deeply personal. A son watching his father push beyond what his body can endure, urged forward by expectations that no longer feel justified. Each appearance, each obligation, becomes a point of tension rather than pride. Camilla, however, sees the same reality through a different lens. To her, presence is power, and absence invites doubt. The crown must remain visible, unwavering, untouched by vulnerability. Where William sees risk, she sees necessity. Where he urges restraint, she insists on resilience. And so, the divide grows, not loudly, not explosively, but with a quiet certainty that makes it far more difficult to repair. Trust, once fractured, does not return easily. What remains is a silence filled with unspoken disagreement, each side convinced they are protecting the same man in entirely different ways. Anne does not enter conflicts lightly. She observes, measures, and only then decides where she stands. For her, this is not about personalities or preferences. It is about principle. The monarchy, as she understands it, is built on discipline, restraint, and a clear sense of purpose. Anything that threatens that balance must be addressed, regardless of who stands at the center of it. Her alignment with William is not emotional. It is deliberate. Together, they represent a vision of continuity, rooted in structure rather than sentiment. They do not seek confrontation, but neither will they avoid it if the institution demands clarity. In quiet discussions and carefully chosen moments, Anne reinforces a message that cannot be ignored. The monarchy must remain defined by duty, not diluted by personal extension. It is a position that carries weight precisely because she has never sought influence, only responsibility. Behind the formalities and traditions lies a deeply human conflict. Charles is not blind to the arguments surrounding him. He understands the concerns, the implications, the subtle warnings embedded in every conversation. Yet understanding does not make the choice easier. Love complicates everything. His loyalty to Camilla is not a matter of convenience. It is the result of a long, difficult journey that finally brought them together. To question her place now is to reopen chapters he believed were finally settled. And yet, the voices urging caution are not distant critics. They are his own son, his own sister. Each decision feels like a compromise, not a solution. Step back, and he risks appearing weak. Push forward, and he risks his health. Draw boundaries, and he risks personal fracture. Avoid them, and the institution itself may suffer. In these moments, the crown offers no guidance. It demands decisions but provides no comfort. And for a man already carrying more than most, that silence becomes its own burden. The transition has not been announced, but it is already underway. William moves with increasing certainty, not out of impatience, but out of necessity. The future he envisions is streamlined, focused, and defined by accountability. It leaves little room for ambiguity, and even less for tradition that no longer serves a clear purpose. This shift is not dramatic. It is gradual, almost imperceptible to those looking from the outside. But within the palace, it is unmistakable. Roles are evolving, expectations are changing, and the boundaries once taken for granted are being quietly redrawn. Camilla sees it, and reinforces it. Charles feels it. What remains uncertain is not whether change will come, but how it will be remembered. As a necessary evolution, or as a moment when personal loyalties and institutional duty stood in direct opposition. And at the center of it all stands a king, not defined by power, but by the choices he must now make. Choices that will echo far beyond his reign, shaping not only the monarchy's future, but the legacy he leaves behind.